Okay, well, it can affect their motivation. It affects their ability to experience joy, happiness. It can have physical effects on a person. It can affect their sleep, their eating, their functioning in their work or school.
In the last decade, teen depression has increased by 37%. 3 million aged 12 to 17 reported to have at least one depressed episode in the past year.
I think depression is definitely a real thing. I think that it's hard to find the core of why a teenager may feel depressed because it could be a lot of things added up over time, but eventually you will find it. But I just think that there's not really a core, it's just happened over time. It all starts stacking up like over years and stuff of why you feel the way you feel.
Me in general, haven't had honestly any experience in depression to see what it's actually like for myself, but I have seen other students or my friends or family around me that has been in depression.
Has depression ever affected me? Yeah. I think maybe depression might run in a lot of people's families and they just don't know. So yeah, I think a lot of people go through it. I know I definitely do. It affects how, like, my schoolwork and how much I really want to go to school.
Depression affects how you feel, think, and behave. This could result in a variety of emotional and physical problems.
They can talk to somebody about what's going on. I think that's probably the most important thing, is having supports, taking care of themselves physically, avoiding alcohol or drug use, eating right, exercising, sleeping, all of those things. But I think the most important thing is talking to somebody if you're feeling depressed.
There has also been an increase in mental health treatment.
Where can you get help? See your school counselor, your social worker, a clergy person, a parent, a trusted adult, teacher. Those are all good places to start.
I have sought help to help with my anxiety and depression by going to go see therapists and trying to figure out the core of why I'm so sad and depressed.
Definitely. I've asked friends and family about it and what they go through and how depression and anxiety may affect them, and see if I can relate to that, because that may give, some comfort.
I try very hard to make sure that I say hello to as many students as I can, try and greet them, try and find out what their issues are, try to be sensitive to what their needs are. It's very difficult, however. I think most teachers struggle with this because they only have so many minutes in an hour, and trying to get through their lesson and trying to communicate with students, but you need to pull them out as much as you can and see what's going on.
Teens deal with school, work, and mapping out their future, making them scared and anxious. This is also making teens lazy, depressed, and affecting their ability to learn.
Depression in students. I see a lot of students who come in overwhelmed recently in comparison to prior years, who don't know quite how to cope with a lot of the things. There's much more pressure, and it's exacerbated by the use of cell phones. So now all of a sudden you go from having normal amount of pressure to having this constant communication with people who are saying, what are you doing, where are you going? This constant feedback most people think is good, I find is actually causing more harm. So yeah, it was nicer when you didn't. Ignorance is bliss, and there's a reason it is.
Lately I've been seeing a lot more people, especially in my school, even my family members that are teens, been really depressed lately, depending on school or just drama in general. I don't really experience that, but I do see it, and I understand why they would be depressed, and it's not just for an attention. I do see people that have hard times in their lives, and school is like one of the main places where I see a lot of people depressed at.
Maybe not getting good grades in high school, or someone's picking on them, like bullies, or just something that really brings them down and it makes them have a lot of anxiety too. Anxiety could be a lot of, when it comes into high school, like with grades and stuff, and you're stressing out and worried about a lot of things. And I think that's a major factor in depression, is anxiety.
Most of the time students come in and they either are hiding, or they put their heads down, or they pretend like they're doing their work, or they have their heads buried in their phones. And those are real typical signs. You'll say hi to them and they kind of put their head down and say quietly hi to you. They want to ignore you as much as humanly possible. And I find that that is one of the surest signs.
I think that depression is really important, and a lot of people are affected by it. It explains how some people act the way that they do. For teenagers, I think if adults tried to help, it would make things a lot more, make things better.
Teenage depression is very important and should be focused on. Depression comes in all ways and affects everyone differently, and you can always find help anywhere.